Which is to say,
也
May
就是
knows
说
about her.
扎伊了解过一些关于她的事。
Yeah, although the bubble universe
虽
may
然
be
世界泡于本
inconsistent
真
with
世
the
界的历
proper
史
world,
或许会有
that's
诸多
certainly
出入，
Dr. May.
但那的确就是梅博士。
She's the de facto
前
leader
文明
in the
纪元
previous
实质
era,
上的领
a
袖，
genius that even
连凯
Kevin
文
can
都只
only
是追随的
follow.
天才。
Then, do you
那
think
么
she's
扎伊认
trustworthy?
为她值得信任吗？
From humanity's
以人类的角度出
perspective, she
发，
should be an
她应
ally.
该可以被当作友方看待。
But to my knowledge, her
据我所
rationality
知，
is beyond
她的
acceptable
理性往往
to
超出常
most.
人能够接受的程度。
I don't think we
不过
have
目
other
前看来，
options.
我们自己也
Brania,
的
what
确
do
无
you
计可
think?
施。布拉尼亚认为呢？
Let's hear her
就先听
proposal.
她的提议吧。
During
在行
operation,
动
we
的时
should
候，
spread out,
我
but
们只要
not
避
so
免不
far
能集
as
中
to be
行动，
separated.
留下相互接应的余地就好。
I agree with you.
我的看法也是这样。
I also have
不过，
questions to ask her,
我也还有一些
such
疑
as
虑
how
需要
this
向她
bubble
问清
universe
楚。
came into being
比如，
and how she was
这个世界
involved
炮
in
究竟是由
Project
何而
Stigma.
来，而它又是怎么和圣痕计划搭上了关系？
We can only
这
try
方
to
面
get to the
我们好
bottom
像
of
也只能打
them.
破砂锅问到底了。
Looks like you
看来
haven't come around
你
to
还是没
it.
想通，
Does
那
it
件
really
事看
seem
起
that
来
strange?
真的很奇怪吗？
Speak for yourself.
你说呢？
Ultimately, I'm an ordinary person.
归根
It's
结底，
natural for me to feel
我只是个普
desperate
通
in
人。
that situation.
在那种情况下会感到绝望，也是理所应当。
And there's no
而且
other person or
也并没
faith
有
that
另
can
一个
make me
人
blindly
或者另一
believe
种
there's
信念，
hope simply by
仅仅
existing.
只是存在，就能让我不加思考地相信一切仍有希望。
As for
至于
why that
为什么
desperation
在察觉到
disappeared
你的
upon
存在后，
sensing your
那种绝
presence,
望立刻就会消失。
that's the
这正是有
fundamental
许多人
reason
愿意
why
受我
many
指
were
挥的根
willing
本
to
原
obey
因。
my orders.
他们需要
They
的
didn't need a
并
leader
非
who
是一
was
个从不
immune
会感
from
到绝望的领
desperation,
袖，
but a leader who
而
could
是一个
immediately
能
rise
立
from
刻从绝望中
desperation.
爬起的组织者。
And
所以
why
呢，
are you telling me
跟我
it?
说这些有什么用？
Are you taking me
你
for
真把我
her?
当成他了不成？
You don't
你不
need
需
to
要
be
是他，
her. I just want to
我只是
point out the
想点
difference
出自己
between
和某
me
个
and a
笨拙男人
clumsy
的区
man.
别而已。
You mean Kevin?
你说凯文？
Who else could he
不
be?
然还有谁呢？
You know, helping
时间
us
正好，
equals
现在帮
opposing
助我
Kevin,
们，
right?
你就等于在和凯文对着干哦。
What if it
如果
doesn't
这根本无
matter?
所谓呢？
What?
啥？
The way I
至少
see
在
it,
我看来，
even if I help
即
you
使我
return
成
to the
功帮助
proper
你们重
world,
回本真
that's
世
been
界，
factored
那
into
也
the
是计划中
project.
可以容忍的一种情形。
In other words,
换言之，
if he's Kevin,
如
he
果他
won't
是凯
mind.
文，那他就不会介意。
You're overly confident
在
about
这方
this.
面，你还真是自信过剩呢。
Thanks for the compliment.
谢谢夸奖。
Wait till I beat the living daylight outside that cabin.
好呀，
Getting beaten by
被你
you
击败，
might be a
或许
memorable
对凯文来
experience
说
for him.
也是种不错的经历呢。
You. Whatever, fighting with a dying
在这种事
person
情
on
上，
something
和一
so
个将死之
pretty
人较劲，
will only
反而
make
显
me
得我像
look
个
like a
傻子一
fool.
样。真是的，
I can't
气
stand
死
it.
我了！
I can't chime
感觉完
in.
全插不进话。不
But
过
what does a dying
将死
person
之人是什
mean?
么意思？
Is Dr.
难道梅博士
May?
他？
Have you
怎么
decided
样？
yet?
你们考虑好了吗？
Summarize your
先概
plan
括一遍你
first.
的计划
The
吧。
information we
我们
have
之
is
前了解到的信息
unorganized.
还是有些散乱。
It's quite
好呀。
simple. Whatever the
计划的核心原
consequence,
则
your
很简单。
primary aim is to
无论
return
后
to
续
the
如
proper
何，
world.
你们的首要目的无疑是返回本真世界，
And my
而
aim
我
is to find a way
则
to
是需
keep
要
this
找出
bubble
让这个世
universe
界炮得以
alive.
存续的方法。
On that
以此为前
basis,
提，
there's only
合理的
one
解法
valid
其实只有一
solution.
种。
We
我们
must
必须
reconnect
将这
this
个世
bubble
界炮
universe to
重
the
新以金属
imaginary
的末梢
ending
建立联系，
so that it can become a
让
real
此处的
world,
泡影成为真正的世界，
like
就
what
像
Durandal
尤兰戴
did.
尔做过的那样。
I see
看
you're
来你们也知道，
aware
这并
this
非不
isn't
可能，
impossible, only
而只是
difficult.
有些
Of
困难罢
course,
了。
before you came along,
当
I
然，
had been missing
在
a
见到你
key
们之前，
ingredient.
我也的确缺乏关键的启动条件。这
That's
正
where
是我的
my
问题所
question
在，
lies,
梅
Dr.
博士。
May. You want to
虽然是
work
你主
with
动要
us,
求合
but
作，
hearing your plan
可在
makes me
听过你的计划
wonder,
之后，
are we really necessary
我
to you?
们对你来说真的如此必要吗？
Such
这种巧合性的
coincidence
发展
only adds to my
反而难免令
suspicion.
人心生疑窦。
Your
你
claim
的
has
主
a
张也有
point.
道理。
When I agreed that my
当
bubble
我同意自
universe
己的
has
世界
become
炮
a
成为
tool,
工具的
I
时候，
clearly didn't
我
predict
显
your
然无法预
arrival.
测你们的
This
到
will be
来。
difficult to
所
prove.
以，虽然难以自证，
But
但这
this
的
is
确是
what
所
people
谓的
call
意
an
外之喜。
unexpected joy.
空之律
Herrscher
者
of the void
以
and
及
Herrscher of
持之律
sentience.
者，
Your powers
你
are
们的
of
全能
very
对我来
practical
说
use
有
to
非常
me.
实际的用处。
Huh?
啊，
To
为了确认我们
confirm
究竟掌
what
握着怎样的条
conditions we
件，
control,
我擅
I
自进
took the
行了一些
liberty
推
of
敲，
scrutiny. I
希望你
hope
们
that's
不会
all
见
right
怪。
with you.
包括我
This
之
is the
前说自
case
己联系
with
上
how
本
I
真世界的某
connected
种
to
方
the
式，
proper
其
world.
实也是如此。
I'll be
打开
frank.
天窗说
The
亮话
Herrscher of
吧。
finality peeled this
这个
bubble
世界炮
universe off the
是被
real
中央律
world.
者从
The
真
earth
正的世
above
界上
us
剥离
may
下来的
just be a
存在。
decoration outside the
我们头顶
domain.
上的那个地球，恐怕也只是个里域外的装饰而已。
Herrscher of
中央律
finality?
者， 其
Actually,
实
you'll be able to
你们
meet
等
it
下还能直接
later.
见到它呢。
Its remains, of
当然，
course.
遗骸而已。
What?
什么？
Calm down.
整气。
Seeing is believing.
所谓
We can
百
talk
闻不
about
如
the
一见。
Herrscher of finality
关
when
于
we
中央律者
finally
的话
see
题，
it.
我们可以等到能实际看到它的时候再谈。
In short,
总之，
the Herrscher of
本称世
finality
界的中央
created
律
us
者
when
在
it
毁灭世
destroyed
界
the
的同
world.
时，制
Having
造出了我
foreseen
们。
this, that Dr.
而遇
May
见到了这
went
一
with
点
it
的
and
那
let
位梅博
Project
士，
Stigma seek out
也就
suitable
趁手推出，
targets.
让圣痕计划从中物色合适的目标。
Are you saying the Dr. May in our
是我
world
们世界的
found
梅
you?
博士找到了你。
You've misunderstood, Bronya.
你误会了
When Project
Bronya
Stigma found this
毕竟
bubble
在圣痕
universe,
计划
the
真正物
Dr.
色到这
May
个世
had
界炮
already
的时
passed
候，
away in the proper
那位
world.
梅博士早已在本征世界中过世。
The only reason
只
I
是由
could
于
reach
我
a
作为她的
consensus
才
with
艺，
her after her
继 承了大 ghost
image that inherited most of her thoughts.
思想，因此才能和已经顽固的她迅速达成共识。
I'll explain it more clearly. At that time, in this
当时，
bubble
在
universe
这个
about
行
to
将破
burst,
灭的世
we
界炮
captured
内，
the signal
我
that
们捕捉
Project
到了圣
Stigma
痕计划
used
用于
to
物色
seek
工
out
具的信
tools.
号。
After
经过
brief
简单的讨论
discussion,
之后，
we decided to
我们一
open
致
up our
决定向
domain
那
to
个
that
信号主
signal
动开放
so
自
this
己的
bubble
领域，
universe would be
让这
captured
个
and
世界炮
solidified by
以最稳
Project
妥的方
Stigma
式
in the
被圣痕
safest
计划
way.
所捕捉、固化。
In other
也
words,
就是说，
for Kevin
对
or
于
the
本征世
others
界的
in the
凯
proper
文或
world,
是其他
they
人，
found a bubble universe that would
他们
make
只
a
是收
great
获
tool
了
without
这个世界
directly
炮非常适合
interacting
作为
with
工具
me.
的结果，而并非与我本人产生过什么直接交流。
Sounds like you're
听上去，
dissociating yourself
这
from
倒
the
有点像
outside
是你在撇
world.
清自己和外部世界的关系。
But
但像这样
clearing
把事
things
情说
up,
清楚，
for curious people
对于
like
好奇
you,
心
my
丰富的你们来
arrangement is
说，
more
我的安
trustworthy,
排
is
才
it
更值得
not?
信任，不是吗？
Anyway,
总而
by
言
using
之，
my
我利
familiarity
用
with
自己对
Project
圣痕计划
Stigma,
的熟
I
悉，
deduced
以诱
it to
导他把
turn
这个
this
世界
bubble
炮变成工
universe
具的方
into
式，换取了
a
我们自身
tool
存续
for
的可能。
exchange of
在
our
随后的漫长时
possibility
光
of
中，
survival.
我利用
Then,
谨
with
慎
the
的思考
thinking
能力，
powers
推演
left,
了
I
各种可
deduced
能
every
情况，
possible
而借助
situation.
你们的律者全
Your
能，
Herrscher
才
powers
能够
can
最大
help
程
me
度优化我方
optimize
的资
our
源消耗。
resource
还
consumption.
是请跟我来吧。
Please come with
看
me.
到那
You'll
边的景
understand
象，
what I
你们
mean
自
when
然
you
就能
see
理解
the
我的
other
意思了。
side. You
对
find
你
the
来
Herrscher
说，
of the void and
所
Herrscher of
用的是空之
sentience
律者和
useful.
实之律者，
So it's
也就
okay
是
for
说
May and I
，Bronya
to
和
stay
我
out
们
of
参与了你
this.
关系吗？
For now,
暂时
yes.
而言，的确。
Then can we
那么，
leave for a while?
我们可以暂时离开一会儿吗？
When I met
之前刚刚
May,
见到
she
原因
said
的
she
时候，
needed to talk to
她
me
说
in
有很重要的
private.
事要找 Bronya 单独谈谈。
Me?
我
Oh, I did
啊，
say that.
是有这么回事，
An excuse
避
to
免
scatter
过于集
us,
中的借
right?
口，对吧？
Kiana,
Kiana，
since Bronya and
既
I
然暂
aren't
时帮不上
helping, we'll
忙，
attend the
我就
private
先去和
matter
Bronya 处理
first.
一件私事好了。
Don't worry, we'll
放
catch
心，
up with you
之
soon.
后我们会立刻赶上，与你们会合。
Private matter?
私事，
When
你们
did
什么时
you...
候？
Oh, that? I get it.
那
But don't
件
take
事
too
嘛，
long.
我明白了，你们一定要尽快跟上来呀。
This is core refinement. Uncle Grey Serpent said as long as we put the solium we find in, it'll transform them into another type of valuable item, solium. After that, we can store those products in the solium storage beside it.
舰长要带希儿去哪儿？不能再让姐姐受到任何伤害，也很危险。希儿会小心的。这里的风景，好想和 Bronya 姐姐一起分享。希儿，收到。舰长要带希儿去哪儿？希儿，收到。 长了，还有些不习惯。开始行动，出发吧！以此烈火，斩无不断。现在是 piano 时间，
这些没事了。一上一下，人上之光。有破绽。
安息吧，拥抱你的力量吧，希尔。轮到我了。轮到我了，没意见吧？以此烈火，斩无不断。现在是 piano 时间。决战的时刻到了，预备，点火！复活，倒身。轮到我了，没意见吧？往后的路，我会和大家一起走下去，所以不用担心我了。希望他们能帮到新亚特拉的大家。还是脚踏实地更令人安心。曾经也有人沿着这条路不断向前。出发吧！背上的剑一点也不沉，
伺机而动。出发，走吧。出发，走吧。出发。异样就在这附近，搜查一番吧。出发。走吧。出发。
希望他们能帮到新亚特拉的大家。
走吧。出发，走吧。
现在是 piano 时间。
这些没事了。五行相生，分时化运。
小心烫伤！我的温度要试试吗？ 片焚尽。该我了。去吧，希尔，去守护我们的约定。舰长要带希尔去哪儿？舰长要带希尔去哪儿？希尔，收到。希尔，收到。安息吧，拥抱你的力量吧，希尔。小心烫伤，心眼，拔剑。
Miss Sela, this is the Solium storage that I talked about. Uncle Great Serpent said it's similar to a food or water storage. But it looks rather different from all the storage that I've seen before. Miss Sela, this is Workshop V7. Because its name is too complex, now everyone just calls it the Robot Workshop. If anything breaks down, we'll fix them here. Oh right, Mark II used to only remember things for me, but ever since Uncle Great Serpent remodeled it here, it has so many new functions. Although I don't know why it ran off on its own. Don't worry, Sora-chan. I'm sure Mark II is still nearby. We can definitely find it. Yeah. Speaking of which, Uncle Great Serpent also said that this workshop can only utilize half its power. If we can optimize its best capacity, I'm sure it can help more people. I want to do something for New Atra. I want everyone to remain as happy as they were, even if they move to a new place. Sora-chan, you're such a good, diligent child. I'll have to keep up too. Let's do your best together. Yeah. It's a Honkai beast. As I said, Apart from
如
the
我所
world
说，
being annihilated
除
at
了世
any
界本
time,
身随时
we're
可能
equally
幻灭之外，
susceptible to the
我们
Honkai
同样也要
threat.
面临来自崩坏的威胁。
While
虽
not the
然不是首要
primary
矛盾，
issue, it
但也的
presents
确
a
是种挑战。
challenge. I can see it
到
clearly
这
from
边就能
here.
看得很清楚了。那
Look, the Herrscher of
中间
Finality.
之旅者，
Oh, it really
还
does
真就
seem
那么一
like
回事
it.
呢。
But
不过，
because this is a
因为这
bubble
里是世界
universe,
炮，
it doesn't
所以
have
它
the
并不
true
具备
power
真
of
正的中间之力。
finality. Despite
话虽如
that,
此，
if the
如
Herrscher
果
of
本真世界
Finality
的中间
becomes
律者
active
再度进
again
入
in the
活跃状
proper
态，
world, this
那么
fellow
这
might
家
get some
伙
powers from
说不
it.
定也会从他那边分得力量。
Then,
那
what
如
if
果圣痕计划
Project
成功了
Sigma
呢？
succeeds?
嗯，
Don't
你
you
们
all
不知道
know?
吗？
Project
圣痕
Sigma
计划本身
itself
就得依赖
relies
中
on the
间的力
power
量
of finality. If
如若不
not,
然，
how can
人类又
humans
怎么会
possess
拥
the
有足以
ability
重组
to
整个星球的
reconstruct
能
an
力？
entire planet?
这，
Thus,
总之，
in conclusion, if we
如果
don't
不把所有
collaborate
能
with
合
all the
作的力量
powers we
全
can
部合
work
作，
with, this bubble
我们这个
universe
世界
is
炮
doomed.
就肯定只是死路一条了。
But there's
不过你倒
nothing
也不必因
impressive
此感
about
叹
this
什么。
inability to
无
control
法自
one's
决的命运，
destiny. That is the
这
true
才是量子
normality
之
in the
海
sea of
中
quanta,
真正的常
filled
态，
with illusions and
是诸般幻影
inescapable
均无可逃
destiny.
脱的命运。
Alright, enough with
不
heavy
聊这些消极
topic.
的东
We
西，
still have something
毕竟
exciting
我
to
们还有
do.
非常积极的事要去做嘛。好，
Alright, we're here.
我们到了。
Hey, you only
你
walked
这
a
不过
few
多走了几步
steps.
路而已。
As expected of a dying person,
将死之
you two
人
will have to get
本就
used
如
to
此
it.
你们就姑且习惯一下吧。
More importantly, my increasing hair
头
loss
发掉的
bothers
越来
me
越多，
more.
反而更让我在意。好了，
Alright, back
还
to
是
the
说回我们的
topic.
正事吧。两
This
位
is
对
the
我来
reason
说
why the
必不
two
可少
of
的原
you
因，
are indispensable to
一部
me.
分就在于此。一
An
座
unusual
不太正
bridge.
常的桥，
That's right. Strictly speaking,
严格
it's a
来说，
newly built connection
将
between
世界
bubble
炮与虚数的末
universes
梢
and the
重新建立
extremes of
连接。
imagination. For
对于
this
这一计划而
project,
言，
the two of you
两位
have
的
been
存在并非
essential
从一
from the
开始就必不
beginning.
可少。最初的关键
Initially, the
是我
key
的
was
人
my
工智能
AI
普
Prometheus
罗米
number
修斯17
17.
号。
Although I don't know all the details of
虽
the
然此刻的
project,
我
she
不知道
definitely
计划的全
mastered
部
all
细
the
节，
methodology.
但他的确掌握着全套的实施方法。
You should
再仔细
reassess
想
what you
想
just
自己究竟
said.
说了些什么。
Although I
虽然此刻
don't
的
know
我不
all
知
the
道计划的
details
全
of
部
the
细节，
project, she
但他的确
definitely
掌握着
mastered
全套
all
的
the
实施方法。
methodology.
在这个世
Before
界
this
炮完
bubble
全停止之
universes
前，我把
completely
与各种
broke
计划
down,
相关
I
的知
saved
识
information
都储
about
存在了
various
他的记忆体
projects
中，
in her memory.
算是一个
It's a
长久以来的
long-grained
习惯
habit.
吧。
I take charge of
我来负责创
creativity,
意，
and she
他来
takes
负责
charge
统
of
筹。
procurement.
我们就是以
We
这种
increase
方
our
式
work
提升工作
efficiency
效率
this
的。
way.
可是，
But
如果
if
只是
that's
这
the
样，
case,
我正要对这
I'm
一点加
about to
以说明。
elaborate on this. In
实际靠近的
actuality,
话，
getting too
或许
close
有些
might
危
be
险。
dangerous. Bending down, Dr. May picked up a pebble, adjusted her position, and threw it at the broken bridge. Thump. Even with the gravitational and oxygen modifications by the moth in an area that allowed normal people like Dr. May to walk freely, her strength still failed her, and the pebble landed barely halfway to the destination. Sorry, this isn't something I'm good at.
抱歉，
Let
这
me
的确
do
不是我
it.
的长处。
And thus, Dr.
让我来
May's
吧。
intention became obvious. This time, the pebble was thrown into the middle part of the bridge and vanished into thin air. It didn't fall, instead, it's just gone. Curious, right? Owing to the saturation between the bubble universe and the proper world,
由于世界
the
炮与本
space
真世
there
界之
is
间的
no
痉
more.
挛，那里的空间本身已
We
经不
can
复存
still
在了。
see the other side of
虽
the
然我们能以
bridge
肉
with our
眼
own
看到这座
eyes,
桥
but
另一
in
边的
fact,
区域，
it's another
但
world.
那里在此时此刻就是事实上
And
另外一个世界。
unfortunately, Prometheus is not trapped
普
there.
罗米修斯目前就被
Which
困
is
在
to
那边。
say, What you really need is the Hersher of the voice power. But judging from the circumstances, to fully will this power, you need help from Senti. I see. Kiana looked at Hersher of Sentience with expectant eyes. Why are you all looking at me? Don't worry, as a shadow, I naturally remember the details of Project Sigma. Knowing the executor of the plan in the proper world, I don't find it hard to predict what he might do. After all, it's Kevin we're talking about. He always carries it all on his own shoulder. Kiana couldn't help but feel sorry for Dr. May, but she always knew she wasn't even qualified to empathize with either of the two. If that's the case, are you still able to detect what War Serpent has done? Is the current world okay? That's hard, given the numerous factors at play in the proper world. The best I can guess is Project Stigma can still be reversed so far. But back to yourselves, the flaws in the seals on you are rather obvious, almost like it's intended. Flaws? Yeah, as a Hersher, Senti is able to keep more of her power than you, and without the extra part, you couldn't have come to me. So, if I have to make a guess, there's one plausible explanation: spiritual restraint. You mean our power are locked psychologically? Huh? To mentally restrain the Hersher of sentience, that's fresh. I don't buy it. It does sound ridiculous, but there were precedents in your history. Compared to what Sue did to the other Hersher of sentience, at least Kevin didn't deprive you of all your powers, if he so wished. He couldn't confine you to the point even moving around can be difficult. So what? You're just telling us things that could have been worse? If Sue or Apollonia was still around, our problem could have been solved with ease. But right now, without a powerful psychic master, purposefully or not, she threw another glance at Hersher of sentience. It's just too hard. Where indeed can we find our Feng down? You... The reverse psychology trick was just too obvious. Isn't it too obvious? Even she probably wouldn't. On that thought, she felt briefly relieved. However, the next instant... No way. The mind space she once set foot in unfolded again. Without any sign, Kiana could still smell anger in the air. Wait, Hersher of sentience. Dr. May didn't finish yet. She... Enough talk. I'll show you how to break shackles. Wait, what do you mean? Break.